back
You're on mute.
to. I'm on mute. For God's sake. Am I on? No, I'm not on mute, McKin.
No,
No.
no, no, you
You
were.
was, you
You
was.
were.
I
You
was
were.
on mute. For God's sake.
Yeah, yeah.
I looked at the bottom of the screen and it was like all the microphones were off. I looked down then to the computer and it's like, yeah, all are on. So that's a brilliant start. And it's always a brilliant start when we have these two guests on in particular. Of course, we're a pile of misfits, really, aren't we? But hello, everyone. Hopefully, all of you are having a fantastic day from wherever you are around the world. And of course, why wouldn't you be having a fantastic day? Because Liverpool are signing players. It's absolutely brilliant to actually hear and see the news. And of course, as you can tell by the thumbnail and the title, yes, Liverpool have agreed a 37 million, potentially rising to 44 million pounds. Worth of Cody Gakpo, of course, from PSV. Of course, we'll be speaking all about the deal and so forth as well. But as you can see, I am joined by two very special guests. First of all, we've got Ricky from the 1892. I was gonna say 1892 Reds podcast, but again, it's 1892 Reds TV now. So how are you doing, my friend?
Buzzing, mate, to be fair. I've been calling for signings to be made, and it looks like we're in the process of making the first big one of this January transfer window. So, yeah, and off the back of a win yesterday as well, so you can't complain too much with what's coming out.
No, you can't, to be fair. And of course, we also have Jack from the Anfield Road TV as well. Jack, how are you doing, my friend? Are you excited? Cody Gakpo to Liverpool?
Yeah, very much so, mate. We spoke about it last night, didn't we, mate? And obviously, been speaking to Ricky today, and I think every Liverpool fan is there. It's as Ricky alluded to, it's probably long overdue, but we're made up that we're improving the squad. But I think it goes to a little way in terms of addressing the squad depth issues Liverpool have had over the last 4 years. But as I said, positive steps, mate. He's a player that will bring so much quality to the squad, and probably haven't been as excited in a very long time for a player, really, for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And guys, let me know and let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below, because I can already see there's a few people in here as well. So thank you for everyone for commenting. If you're new around here as
Smash
well,
that like button as well and
yeah,
subscribe.
if
There we
you
go.
could, be very much appreciated. Mark, thank you very much for putting the lads' channels in the comment section down below as well. Very much appreciated, as always as well. Please go over and subscribe to the 1892 Reds TV and of course the Anfield Road TV as well. Anyway, but Alan's in as well, saying looking forward to the show. Connor, Alan, great to see you in here as always. Afternoon all. Oh, what a day it was yesterday. Yes, Henry, it was absolutely brilliant day, wasn't it? Hi, Connor, Ricky, and Jack as well. Tom is in as well, saying yes, the boys. Tom, you need some cheering up, don't you? Especially after the Evgar slapped in the last minute against Wolves, and the whole of Twitter and everything else saying it was toxic fans that caused Everton to lose, which I thought was pretty funny. As well. Anyway, but good seeing you, Tom, as well. How's everyone doing today, Mark? Mark, I'm doing fantastic. Thank you very much. The boys are as well. And good time, Mark, as well. So we will get into the news then. And of course, Cody Gakpo. That's all we're going to be talking about in today's episode. Of course, is this man. Of course, had a blinder World Cup. Won't lie. Look, I'm not going to openly say I've watched Cody Gakpo week in, week out. So I've seen bits and pieces of him in the Europa League and, of course, at the World Cup. And, of course, the news last night coming out from Paul Joyce saying that Liverpool want Cody Gakpo and discussions with PSV are advanced. And then PSV themselves confirmed the news of PSV and Liverpool have reached an agreement on purpose of the transfer of Cody Gakpo. The 23-year-old attacker will leave for England immediately, where he will be subject to the necessary formalities ahead of the completion of the transfer as well. And Neil Jones also confirming, of course, the additional fee is around £37 million, but the add-ons will only take it up to around £44 million if they are met. Now, Ricky, for a player, as top quality as Cody Gakpo, if it was to be the final, estimated 44 million, if the add-ons were met, of course, I think that's a really, really good steal from Liverpool, especially when Cody Gakpo after the World Cup was getting spoken about around 50-60 million pounds, and the fact that the prices stayed pretty much around what it was before the World Cup.
Yeah, I mean, to nick Man United's prime transfer target in the start of January is massive. The price is a lot less than what Man United were getting quoted during the World Cup. They were getting quoted 60-70 million. So it's massive to get it done. We were lacking options in attacking areas. I think Klopp's looked at the last two games, and Ox playing left wing ain't the right fit. So he got his man, and to be fair, we've done it quite quick. I mean, I think the story broke about 5 to 9 last night, and we signed it by 10 o'clock. It just shows that it goes to show if you want someone, you'll get it done straight away and quick, and not mess around like these other teams have been doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jack, it absolutely screams to me Fabinho signing. I absolutely adore these signings of, nobody knew that Liverpool were interested. I know the last couple of weeks, with the World Cup, it's been rumours and speculation. And then I think Damasio mentioned last week that he expected Liverpool and Man United to fight it out for Cody Gakpo. Well, Liverpool have just, gone and smashed and broke the door down, really. But what are your overall thoughts on Cody Gakpo and, what he could bring potentially to this Liverpool side?
Adds quality, mate. I was speaking on my show with you and obviously Sparta last night, and we had very good insight from a lot of PSV fans. It was great to really get the Dutch perspective, and obviously bringing me up to speed in a lot of the chat last night. I think all of us, Con, and by all accounts, yes, it's the Eredivisie, but it's still a league that is quite respected in and around Europe. We've seen plenty of talented players transition from that league over the years, and I'm hoping Gakpo will be one of those players. He's very versatile, can play down the left, can play down the middle, and can play on the right, but predominantly is a left-sided wideman. But as his goals to assist record at the minute, I'm just looking at last season's record in terms of 47 games played, 21 goals, 15 assists as well in all the competitions in which he did play. And then going into, of course, this season as well, it's quite staggering in all honesty, just whilst it loads there. Sorry, mate. So he's played 24 games this season. He's got 13 goals and 17 assists already, which is absolutely staggering in all honesty, mate. If you can continue that, and especially bring it into the Premier League, it'd be literally one. If you can continue that conversion rate. I know we had Luis Diaz. I think he scored 17 goals last season when we did sign him. I think that's the only thing lacking from Luis Diaz's game, but he's still a young player. He'll get that eventually. So, yeah, I did watch a lot of the World Cup watch-alongs. As I said, not an avid watcher of PSV or Eredivisie, but I did get a good glimpse at him in terms of watching that Dutch side. He's their main goal threat, in all honesty. Obviously, we had Weghorst come on against Argentina, getting that double. But, yeah, he was the probably only key threat, really, but there's something in the back of my mind. I'd love it. Virgil, big up to Virgil as well, absolute legend. Obviously, he's took quite a lot of shots at Manchester United over the last couple of weeks in the press, and Virgil more or less announcing a signing last night. Basically said everything apart from Gakpo's name, didn't he, boys in chat? But yeah, he had a lot of quality, and especially if he can try to convert that assist and obviously the record, it might need a little slight bedding period, but I think he's a player that physically as well, being 6'1", 6'2", I don't think he'll have any issues in terms of adapting to the Premier League physically.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you've mentioned, his name, but there, I want to quickly bring this up as well. Virgil van Dijk made contact with Cody Gakpo and convinced the winger to join Liverpool, and made rising interest in the 23-year-old services as well. The one thing I will say as well, which I think is particularly funny, is the fact that both Erik ten Hag and Cody Gakpo have the same agency.
That's mad.
And yeah, Jurgen Klopp just went in there and got him, which I thought was pretty amazing as well. But I will quickly bring up something that Jack mentioned in terms of stats as well. Cody Gakpo has scored 21 goals and provided 25 assists in 41 Dutch Eredivisie games since the start of last season. He's the only player in Europe's top 10 leagues with both 20 plus goals and 20 plus assists since the beginning of the 21-22 season. That is unreal. And if you can transform that to the Premier League, like Jack said, then we've got a proper player on our hands yet again. And I feel like this is Luis Diaz 2.0.
Even if he gets half of that, mate, and Ricky lads as well, if he gets half of that, that sounds that will put him up against one of the best players in the Premier League.
But yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. How pretty much the stats. I don't want to say live, but again, it's filthy as well.
Tapping merchants.
But speaking of tapping merchants, Fabrizio Romano, Jurgen Klopp has been crucial to complete the signing of Cody Gakpo. Liverpool manager wanted new winger because of the injuries. Board decided to act quickly. Liverpool were fast and convinced, as 1 year ago with Luis Diaz deal. It's no
absolute nonsense.
That's weird. What's that?
Fabrizio Romano, because 12 hours before it all broke, he was on the United stand talking about how Gakpo to United's pretty much done. And
then all of a sudden, agreed, though, isn't it, with Man United? Like 12 months ago.
It's mad.
He's only on there, Ricky, because he's been getting paid. He only does a lot of media work, and quite rightly so. He's a very well-respected journalist, and he's got a lot of contacts. Because that's basically what you're paying for. Get to really get him on your platform as well. As I said, fantastic at what he does. But he was only saying that because.
But I don't think he gets any Liverpool news at all.
Oh no, he doesn't. As Connor alluded to there, Ricky, and all of us. That's the best thing about it. This is why I stopped doing. I do the occasional transfer video, but at the end of the day, everything went out the window years ago for me. We literally had Nabil Fekir recorded an interview and then didn't sign him.
It changed, didn't it? It changed in a year, didn't it? Because obviously all the Liverpool journals knew about Virgil van Dijk. It got broke. Then obviously we had to apologise to Southampton and make that whole
Mate, they're the reason why the Van Dijk deal went wrong. That's why no journalist gets leaked Liverpool info now, bar
Paul Joyce. Paul Joyce tweets. He's the big don, isn't he?
Yeah, and Ornstein's the other one that is probably up there now with the Liverpool news. But after that Van Dijk stuff, no one gets anything sniff no more.
I think we've been very much warned by the Premier League, or when we signed Van Dijk, it was the last warning, really, in honesty.
Well, it was that one. It was like, oh yeah, you just book the flight, and it's like, wait, there's no agreement between Liverpool and Southampton. But of course, that was many moons ago as well. But in speaking of that, Liverpool have trolled the whole fan base today by going, oh, it's on this day in 2017, Virgil van Dijk did that picture. Nice one, Liverpool.
They know what they're doing. I know all of us are very suspicious. Like all of us, we're just football fans of Liverpool anyway. The fact that they removed the pinned tweet a couple of days ago, it's not like we're announcing a new kit. We're announcing Gakpo or announcing
that pinned tweet is for Jude, mate.
Oh,
there won't be no pinned tweet till Jude comes.
I hope you're bloody right.
I don't like even the Gakpo stuff. I don't think he becomes the pinned tweet. I don't think we pin a tweet. Everyone knows what pin tweet we're waiting for, so we'll see.
What, ownership or due?
Mate, listen,
never know. Oh, mate.
I still stick by it. We've been bought, or there's major investment in the club coming for us to go get this signing. Because listen, I know everyone keeps banging the drum that Liverpool made so much money last season in revenue. Liverpool don't go spend 40 million if that Jude Bellingham money's not put to one side.
Especially on a forward that.
Yeah.
We don't need, really, when you look at it.
It's when you spoke about it, Condon, I think all Liverpool fan has. When you identify Liverpool's weaknesses in the areas, yes, Liverpool, and I think Jurgen Klopp was said after the game and pre-match as well, we've got Naby back, and whatever anyone thinks, but in terms of bodies in midfield, unless, and I said this to you last night, Con, I've said to Vicky today, unless there's, from a medical point of view and analysis, really, in terms of Jota or Diaz. Whether one of them is probably slightly more further down the road in terms of their recovery, and then Liverpool, of course. And Jurgen Klopp's looked at playing Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain down the left and went, "Oh shit, pardon my French." But
Quickly
he's
get
went,
Gakpo on the phone.
yeah, he's like, get me another forward with added quality, really, because we can't be going into a game against Real Madrid with Ox and that left wing. No disrespect to the lads, but he's not good enough.
I said to you last night, I think for me, out of the two, that's most worrying, in my opinion, is Diogo Jota. And it's the fact we don't know really what, like with Luis Diaz, it's the same injury that he's had to have surgery on now. That's what we know. Of course, we don't know what type of Luis Diaz we're going to have back from that. But with Jota, 2 hamstring injuries back to back, and then the leg injury that happened against City, it's not. It's not an ideal situation with Jota, and plus, I think it will take probably until May time.
We just don't want to be
around that.
rushing him back, though, mate.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
exactly.
That's the last thing Liverpool want to be doing, and then he gets a recurred injury, and then you're back to square one, in all honesty, and then having to potentially get another forward in again.
Yeah, absolutely. But guys, let us know your thoughts. Anyway, in the chat, we'll take a quick look in a brief second on Cody Gakpo's stats as well, because he is pretty much in the top percentage of players in terms of attackers for everything. Anyway, but I want to know your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below, because it is a load of you in as well. So if you're new around here, please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button as well.
Yeah, we're only on 30 and likes, chat, and there's 28 of you in. Get them at least to 20. Come on, chat. Takes 2 seconds. Got those
very much appreciated. But Data says, I've never heard of a Gakpo before the World Cup as well. I think plenty of Reds will be like that as well. That's to break his release clause, which Benfica ideal want. I think people are talking about Enzo Fernandez in the chat. Philip says, I'm quite excited for Gakpo signing, but not as much as I will be for a couple of midfielders who could possibly walk into our midfield as well. I'm just going to say this, it's not going to be a quiet January for Liverpool Football Club. Nope. That's all I'm going to say as well. Mark says, I think we might lose out on Bellingham. I think the money is done. They're ready for Bellingham. It's just agreeing stuff with Borussia Dortmund now. I think that's it for Liverpool, for Bellingham, of course. But again, you still have to worry for the likes of Madrid and City, who probably can match anything Liverpool do put up for him anyway. As it was a speculation earlier on Gakpo as well. And he says, hi to Tom. I think it's more than just a striker, Tom, as well. I don't know what that's in.
Talking about the Ev, mate, what they need.
Bloody hell, they need a battleship. They do. That's the way it is yesterday. I know that, but a decent striker, though, doomed. Mark says, feel like we are looking at going back to the pressing game setup as well. Potentially,
For that, sorry there, Colin. For that, Mark, we've all said, every Liverpool fan, we need a midfield that is capable of pressing fundamentally. And we've seen this over the last 6 months. We've seen Liverpool play a high line, but our midfield has not really had the energy levels, in all honesty, to press. Because if you don't play a high line, you need to be straight at opposition attackers and midfielders. And we've seen that when we got, 20 minutes into the second half against Aston Villa last night as well, that we need that bit more press, in all honesty.
Yeah, no, absolutely, 100%. As well, Ben asks, any news on Gakpo's medical? It is set to take place today.
Probably has already happened, isn't it?
Yeah, or some part of it has already happened. This is why it isn't a Gakpo officially joins Liverpool title. It's just everything is agreed. It's now just getting him to sign the contract and medical, and that's it. As far as we know, anyway. But Anderson as well, just evening everyone. United didn't want him anyway, so it's all good as well. Well, that's the thing, and as Ricky said, United had everything agreed personally. Eric Ten Hag wanted Cody Gakpo, but the United boards didn't want to splash the cash on Cody Gakpo. They wasn't comfortable, supposedly. And if you believe the United fan base, they were like, we never wanted Cody Gakpo anyway. just go on YouTube and look at the compilations they've made. I think that's enough said in that regard. Anyway, but Yaman says, what's up with any new signing news? Well, Cody Gakpo is one, my friend. And of course, like I said, it won't be a quiet January for Liverpool anyway. Let me quickly scroll down. Brian says, sorry. Diaz, Nunes, Jota, Gakpo, Salah, and Firmino. Not too shabby. I know it's absolutely not. As well, I will quickly ask as well.
So
I'll ask you, Rick.
Sorry there, Con. I'll have a little look at what Brian said there with Andy Hunter.
Yeah, thank you for that. Rick, I'll ask you this. When everyone is fit and available, what would be your front three for if you were to start with everyone fit?
Salah, Nunes, and Diaz. But I will say, if Firmino does sign a new deal, that's 6 forwards. So you've got basically 2 starting threes. The amount of games Liverpool play, like I see like people moaning yesterday on social media, why are we signing another forward? Where they're going to fit into waste? Every weekend, Liverpool fans moan on social media that the bench is absolute toilet. There's no quality on the bench. But then we go and sign a quality forward backup / starter, and it's like a meltdown. We shouldn't sign another forward. It's a waste of money. We're not going to get midfielders. I just want good squad depth. If you want to win trophies, you need top players in all departments. If you're losing 1-0, 2-1, or it's 0-0 late in the game, you look to the bench to bring someone on to make an impact. Gakpo can do that all day long. But then at the minute, we're looking random. We've got a 16-year-old kid in Ben Doak coming on. No disrespect to him. He shouldn't be on that Liverpool bench. And that's why the Gakpo signing is going to be class. It's added squad depth. We're in awe of Man City's bench when they can bring these big players on. I want the same for us. So it's a good signing.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Jack, do you have anything to say?
No, Dickie's spot on there, mate, in all honesty. And to Brian's point in the comments, mate, I've just had a little look. Obviously he's a good journalist there, Andy. But yeah, I haven't seen anything to what Brian said there, mate. But I've got Twitter on, so I keep on looking to my side just in case we see anything.
He said that it was part of an article piece yesterday, speaking about Bellingham.
Sounds. Yeah, no, but to Ricky's point, mate, it's absolutely spot on. He's hit the nail on the head. We all want squad depth. In all honesty, we want added quality, really. And I think Gakpo, if you look at his statistics, if he does, as we said, if he can translate that to the Premier League, if he continues that run of form into the Prem, he'll be a starting 11 player for Liverpool down that left-hand side. And then you've got Diaz and then Jota competing for the starting berth in the squad. And and at this point of view, if it is a case of if Liverpool for the next couple of months, or as much as our heart rate to be going up and down, if Liverpool need to just score more goals in the opposition as many times as we possibly can, that was old school Liverpool, especially when it was madness to watch. But I think it's going to add to very much Liverpool's attacking flair going forward.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. As well, Bird of the Pool says, some United fans saying we didn't want Gakpo. You mean Gakpo didn't want you as well? I think, to be fair, I think everything was agreed. Just again, United supposedly didn't want to pay the money, supposedly. I think, Rick, you said earlier on United are broke as well when we were off air, which, again...
Yeah, there's some reports coming out that Ten Hag spent most of his budget in the summer, so that there's not a lot left to spend this season. So they're going to be potentially looking at more loan deals in January than buying players. So this rumour where apparently they've activated Enzo Fernandez's release clause, I don't think it can be true because a lot of reports are saying they're only looking at loan deals.
It's absolutely madness that if we are getting Gakpo for half of Anthony, and Gakpo's like more or less 2 times the player of Anthony, in all honesty.
It's because Man United don't negotiate. They get fleeced because of how big of a club. Yeah, how big of a name Man United are. Teams know Man United have cash in the bank, so they just fleece them for whatever they can. And Man United ain't got no one really that can negotiate transfers. Like director of football, who's it? Ed Woodward before. He weren't really good, and I think they've got Murto now, who ain't any better. Until they get their structure behind the scenes fully sorted out in terms of a director of football, a technical director, they're never going to be able to negotiate players. That's why they spent 100 mil on Anthony.
Look how that happened in the summer. Ajax said plain as day, oh, okay, you can have Anthony as long as you come up with, I think it was around 85 million euros. I think it was, and that was like in the first couple of months of the transfer window. United allowed that to progress so long until it was deadline day, or just before deadline
because
day.
they're that desperate and to just sign anyone.
And then Ajax go, okay, 100 million, and you've got him. And United went, okay, sound. Even though we could have got him for, 25 million less, and that's a terrible way of running a football club. But again, it's the consistent United way. This is what changes, between Liverpool and Manchester United. And look, for us, it's brilliant, because again, we're getting a very good quality player for, like as Jack and Ricky has just said, for 3 times less than the price of Anthony.
And we can speak about this because we've got experience. We've been where United have been for a very long time prior to obviously Jurgen Klopp. Even the time of Brendan Rodgers, we were buying £20 million players when there were £2 million players. In all honesty, look at the likes of Lambert's. the list goes on. We all know.
Well, look at Balotelli.
Yeah, Balotelli's like probably a prime example. A big name. At that time, he was still a big name because, he had an attitude problem, but he was one of those players that would probably similar with Memphis Depay before he got his move to Barcelona as well. High-profile player, high-profile image that obviously his agent probably had a lot of contacts in the world of football and went, do you want him? Do you want him? Do you want him? And then Liverpool eventually went, yeah, Sam, we'll take him, because literally at that time, Liverpool didn't have the pull in which we do have now, where we've got Jurgen Klopp, the hierarchy in terms of transfers of Liverpool to say, right, we'll get the deal done within an hour, and it was almost more or less done.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to quickly answer Francis's comment, no, nothing's been agreed or anything upon. There's just, of course, there's wild rumors going around right now on Twitter, and so on, and but as far as anything is confirmed, no, nothing. If anything, the top journalists around the Enzo Fernandez situation, I think have said that Manchester United will be top. If anything, then Liverpool, then Real Madrid. That's at the minute, but of course things can change in an instant. And plus, he isn't going to leave Benfica for anything less than his release clause, which is like 103, 104 million pounds, I think. Anyway, so again, any news on Gakpo's medical? Supposedly, it's already taken place as well. Ben, not yet. Francis have been 120 million, absolutely. There's Brian's got Andy Hunter, Guardian Mercer journalist, says we are not in the market for Enzo. I do think, though, as well, chat and guys as well, I think Liverpool are firmly Jude Bellingham is number one, more than anything. And then I've always said, personally, I've always thought the winner of, or the loser, I should say, of not getting Jude Bellingham would go after Enzo Fernandez. But again, 2 clubs could potentially go after Enzo Fernandez as well.
For me, with this obviously we all know Enzo's quality. As I said, not a big avid watcher of Benfica. I watched a couple of games for Argentina in the World Cup, and he did stand out, of course. A lot of players, even McAllister in that Argentina squad, was absolutely phenomenal. And I think he eventually, well, you never know, if Brighton get Champions League football this year, he'll be staying. But for me, I think it's been it's a case of Benfica, and quite rightly so. Like Liverpool have done it in the past when we had Coutinho, when we were looking at selling him at Barcelona. It's just about driving that price up as much as you possibly can to try and get the best out of your asset. If he's got a buyout, then that's probably benefits. Similar with Aston Villa with Jack Grealish as well. If you know you've got a buyout and you're not going to push comes to shove, and if it comes to a point where a club is willing to pay above that asking price, then, well, the buyout, of course, if he's got a buyout, it will come up to the player's decision in terms of who he would like to go to, as long as that current club is wanting to activate that release clause. But I think for me, when again, it's a case of Enzo, more or less, or Benfica, more or less, just waiting to see. I think it's just them trying to get as much money as possibly can.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you on that as well. We'll get back into the comments in a brief moment anyway. I'm going to quickly look at Gakpo's stats for you guys anyway. We do have it on screen anyway. Again, as you can see, but they attacking wise, in the top 99% of players, or in terms of attackers in the last 365 days. Again, that's outstanding. But I think, again, like we mentioned last night on Jack's show, I think the most important thing, if you look at, his defensive numbers as well, he's in the top 86% of attackers for interceptions and aerial duels won as well. How many times have Liverpool started off a game by kicking it to Matip, and Matip just kicks it right into the left-hand corner? Maybe Liverpool might win a few of those now with Gakpo there as well. And it's the sense of, just look at the stats, in terms of dribbles completed and touches in the opposition box and progressive passes. I think more so on that side as well, especially against low blocks teams that we're going to be coming up against. Towards the bottom end of the league, that's going to be very, very crucial. To try and create something, against those teams. Of course, we do struggle against the teams that tend to go 6 at the back and then 5 in midfield for the Reds. But I think it's interesting the fact that he is attacking wise and even defensive wise, he does seem like a complete player. Of course, it is the Eredivisie, don't get me wrong, but like we said, if he can even take half of the stats that he's been providing in the Eredivisie into the Premier League, he's going to be one hell of a player.
For me, that was a great start in terms of the aerial duels as well, made from a tactical sense for Liverpool, as Connor alluded to, and Ricky, we've said this in all of our post matches over last year. It helps Liverpool, even if it's a long ball, like mix it up. How many times have we seen Liverpool whip balls into the box, and from a physical point of view, we're getting, like Tottenham, was it last year when we played Tottenham at home? Amount of times we crossed that ball into the box, and we've got little Jota, little Luis Diaz as well. It's never going to be getting one, but it's interesting. I don't know how you feel, Ricky, in terms of the physical aspect of Liverpool, obviously with Darwin Núñez being 6'2", Gakpo being about 6'1", 6'2". And I'll ask you there, Connor, as well, chat. Are Liverpool, from a tactical sense, going for a different way in terms of the profile of player that they're signing now? Enzo Fernandez is 6 foot as well, so, and Jude Bellingham, another 6 footer. From a physical point of view, what's your feeling on that, Ricky?
I think Klopp was trying a new dynamic way of playing in terms of physicality. I mean, that Gakpo is very quick for how tall he is. I think Klopp was trying to go with, because we can hit teams on counter attack, devastating pace with Núñez, Salah, Gakpo now coming in. The midfield's going to be interesting to see what he does with that, because if he does bring 2 in, who will be the 3 in midfield? Because you've obviously got to play a 6. I don't think Enzo Fernandez is a 6. Jude Bellingham's not a 6.
More of like an 8, aren't they?
Yeah, so you have to play Fabinho if you're going to play 2 players like that. So the talk of it being Fernandez, Thiago, and Bellingham next season, for me, won't work.
That's still too attacking for me, mate.
Yeah, and I think we'll get cut apart with that.
Could we go with 2? Does anyone think we could potentially go
with
10?
Yeah, I think with the
2 6s and then a 10?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you can play Bellingham as a 2, you can play Fernandez in a 2. It's a bit risky, but I just think you've got different options now with, obviously,
I think Fabinho playing a 2 at Monaco as well.
Yeah.
In a 4-2-3-1. Yeah.
Like I said, it depends what midfield you come with. That Ambarat, who's been linked as well, I'm not interested in that. But coming to Liverpool, I don't think he's that level. So it's going to be interesting. I don't think we end up with Enzo Fernandez and Jude Bellingham. I think we get one or the other.
For me, would we all be up for Virgil van Dijk just getting on the phone the last week?
Frankie de Jong.
And getting Frankie de Jong.
Take Frankie de Jong all day long. I prefer Frankie de Jong over Enzo Fernandez.
Because if you think about it, boys, just get all the top-rated players. If Barca are that strapped for cash, that like he ticks all the boxes, as we just said. He can play 8, he can play 6 as well.
Who are you taking, Jack? Enzo Fernandez or Frankie de Jong?
I'd say de Jong over Enzo, because I think from a tactical sense, he'd fit Liverpool a bit more. He's used to playing 4-3-3 as well at his time at Ajax.
I would personally take Enzo Fernandez over Frankie de Jong.
But based on what, though?
The fact he can play a 6 and a 8, I think Enzo Fernandez, because Jude Bellingham, I would say it would be a right-hand-sided midfielder. I think he's that Jordan Henderson, sided player. But with Enzo, and it's that thing of, is Klopp, if Klopp was to, for example, bring in an Enzo, would it then change Liverpool week to week? Would we start using Thiago as a luxury player like he was always brought in to be? Or do we think that he would transition back to how he was under Wijnaldum, for example, like a workhorse type midfield? I think that's because I think Thiago was always brought in to be that player that could just A, change a game instantly, and B, to be a luxury item, not to be used week in, week out, and you're practically relying on Fabinho. Thiago. But for me,
it's the thing as well, Con, as well, and lads, in it, let us know. For me, as Ricky's alluded to there, it's the versatility. Jurgen Klopp, we all know, loves in players. That's what Gakpo, as Con's alluded to, the position, play number 10, play on the left, play on the right. Predominantly left side of midfield winger anyway, but he can play through the middle as well. But I think that's the point as well, and Con, that you just said there, the midfielders have got to be very versatile. We don't want to be putting square pegs in round holes, in all honesty, and I think that's what Liverpool have been caught out with over the last couple of seasons, in all honesty. Obviously, that centre-back fiasco that we had 2-3 years ago, in all honesty, when we finished in the top 4 positions, really, and we were putting Hendo and Fabinho centre-half. We do not want to be put in that position where we're in that position this year, potentially, if a couple of midfield players get injured, and then we're relying on a very young Harvey Elliott. He's a very good player, as well, honesty. But as Ricky alluded to, we don't want to be putting too much pressure on Ben Doak, 16, 17-year-olds, and Harvey Elliott. We want to be creating that environment, a winning environment, where, like City done with the young lads anyway. Oh, I completely got up my head. The left winger, Foden.
Foden.
Yeah, City were in a winning environment where they brought in Foden. Obviously, the more minutes he played throughout the years, he's progressed. Ideally, that's what Liverpool want to be doing, really, for me personally.
He was slowly added in as well, when he I think he got frustrated. I think he did an interview, didn't he, after a League Cup game, and he was like, I want to play more, but I've been told I can't. And then I think City fans lost their minds. It was like, well, why can't he play this, that, and the other? And of course, Pep handled him brilliantly. And I think, similar with that, I think Ben Doak is going to be some player. Obviously, we've seen bits and pieces of him. If anyone watches an under-21 game or watches him, in the academy games, he's by easily the best player on the pitch, week in, week out. And I think, look, it's going to be a very, very bright future for him as well. Anyway, but guys, there is 45 people in right now. If we could hit that like button, I think we are on 22 likes. So if we can get to 30, maybe 25. Start with 25 first, and then if we can get to 30, we very much appreciate it. As always, I went a bit greedy then with 30. But Henry says there's an easy choice between us. For Enzo, he will take one look at it's Man United, though, isn't it? That's the thing that
either wants to win trophies and have a good career at competing at the top level, he'll sign for us. If he's in it just for cash, he's going to go Man United. You can't turn, if you're a player, you can't turn down 250, 300 grand a week, which Man United would offer. Well, we wouldn't.
And that goes to Jude Bellingham's comments as well. Was it last week or an interview surfaced of Jude Bellingham saying he'd much rather like to win trophies and obviously be respected in the football club and have a good standing within the club in terms of and having aspirations, really. And that, to me, as we know, Jude, he's very mature, the way in which he speaks, speaks so well for the young lad. But he's got he's got an old head on young shoulders, mate. But yeah, the only reason people are linking Enzo with Man United, in all honesty, is the Argentina contingent at the football club. I think everyone's going, oh, Martinez obviously being a World Cup winner as well, and going 1-1 and getting 7. In all honesty, but as I said, it will be interesting. Whoever does get Enzo, if it is Liverpool, great. But if it isn't, then whoever's getting him is getting a very good player. But I think Benfica are very much, quite rightly so, he's their player, cranking that price up, in all honesty.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Mickey says, will I bring in Frankie as well? Mickey, good to see you as well, my friends. Can't see United making a buy for 100 million plus player as well. I think summer maybe. Just depends again what the Glazers want to give out as well. But Albert says we are building a team to face Real Madrid. De Jong is too lazy, says Albert. As well, Frankie goes to Anfield. I'll have that on a t-shirt as well, says Egyptian King. Based on age, I don't know if that's I think that's for Frankie as well. I think we might have a few more as well. I think, yeah, definitely more signings are on the way as well. But Egyptian King saying Dark's pace is frightening. He's an unbelievable talent. His futures brings right now. We need players who will smash Real Madrid and get us to 4 and Harvey and that, says Albert. I think Harvey Elliott's brilliant. I love Harvey Elliott. Of course, has a bright future. And again, I think people do forget as well, he is only 19 years of age.
It's the thing, we don't want to be putting, of course, any player that plays Liverpool is going to be pressure, any top team. But as a fan base, we can't be demanding so much. Like Jude Bellingham is a freak of nature, in all honesty, how good he is. I think the likes of obviously Gerrard, Lampard at their young age as well. But I don't think those Gerrard and Lampard were at that level where Jude is currently. Because you look at Jude Bellingham from a statistical point of view, I think he's played over 100 games. And he's the captain of Borussia Dortmund in Champions League games and all, and that's mad. Like that
we said after the England-France game, didn't we? The mentality on Jude Bellingham. You'd think that he is a 26, 27-year-old. But look at when Kane missed the penalty. First player up to Kane to come on, let's go again.
Yeah.
You can't teach that. That's natural ability. A natural head on it as well. We'll quickly read the last few comments and we'll go back through all the news. If anyone new is popping in anyway. But Nunes tried to set him up for a second to King as well. I'm fully convinced potential. Elliott is one for 2 years from now. Now we need Jude, Enzo, and Kudos as well, says Albert as well. I've seen that wee fella is fitting lovely as well. Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, but we'll quickly go back through the news then, if anyone is just tuning in as well. And as well, I will ask as well, Mark, if you have any mods in the chat as well, please put the lads' links in the chat if there's any people new in as well. Anyway, but of course, we've spoken about Cody Gakpo, that's obviously today's main episode. Of course, Paul Joyce, firstly breaking the news, and then of course PSG themselves, PSV, sorry, breaking the news themselves, saying there's been an agreement in place between themselves and Liverpool. And obviously Neil Jones was also breaking some news as well, saying that the deal won't be any more than £44 million. Jurgen Klopp was the key factor in getting Gakpo over the line, as well as agent Virgil van Dijk, as well, making the deal possible. And convincing Gakpo to join the Reds as well. And one thing I haven't popped up neither, which I do have on the slide as well, was this back in November, the first week of November. Hans Krey, I think that's how you pronounced it, told ESPN Dutch today that he has spoken to Liverpool's assistant Pep Lijnders, and he is convinced that the Premier League side will move for PSV forward Cody Gakpo. Lijnders apparently called Gakpo the missing link in Liverpool's attack, which I'll leave that to your own imaginations. Anyway, but as you can see down the bottom, it does say the 6th of November 2022, which
big up Hans as well by the looks of it. You got the quick scoop on that.
Well, Damasio as well mentioned last week that Liverpool are battling United for Gakpo as well. But another thing as well I haven't brought up as well, Grizz Khan also mentioned Liverpool's chief scout Barry Hunt Hunter, was the main driving force behind the pursuit of Cody Gakpo. Liverpool's interest intensified over the last 2 weeks, so a deal was struck in Dubai with all parties, whilst United only spoke to the player side, not PSV, which matches up with everything that has been spoken about as well. And of course, like we mentioned, the ridiculous stats on Cody Gakpo as well, saying Cody Gakpo scored 21 goals and provided 25 assists in 41 Dutch Eredivisie games since the start of last season. He's the only player in Europe's top 10 leagues with both 20 plus goals and 20 plus assists since the beginning of the 21-22 season, which again is very, very frightening as well. And I actually forgot the Chelsea game's on as well.
Yeah, 1-0, 1-0 Chelsea.
Yeah, 1-0.
Should have had a penalty as well. I was watching in the background before, 5 minutes before he just scored. Referee, yeah, but I was going to say it's the ballsy referee, but they're all ballsy in the Prem. But yeah, I think it's the one, whoever it is, absolutely shocking. All of them are rubbish, but yeah, Kai Havertz getting on the end of a good cross from Raheem Sterling.
Thank you for putting the links in the chat, as well as the link for the 1882 Reds TV as well. And Mark also put in for Jack as Anfield Rose TV as well. Mark's actually said he was about to do it as well, so thank you, chat, for that as well. I do very much appreciate it as well. Anyway, but Albert says, read the last few comments, guys, and then we will be heading off. And if there is any other breaking news, of course, throughout the day, we will be live straight away anyway. But Jude is a generational player. He wants Steven Gerrard's shirt. He wants to be England captain. Otherwise, he'll be running to Man City or Real Madrid. Panov says, hit the likes, people. Yeah, I think there's 52 people in here right now. So we can
come on, chat. 2 more likes off 30. Come on. And make sure you do subscribe to Connor as well. Get Connor to 1,000. Every single day, similar with Ricky and the lads as well. Make sure you do head over to support them day in, day out. Obviously, there's not always Liverpool transfer news, but I think all of us do pre-match, post-match shows as well. So just building a great community on everyone's channel, and it's I appreciate everyone for tuning in.
Yeah, absolutely, and big up to these two as well. You have to pop on, but I very do much appreciate it. But yeah, I can't talk. You can tell that Liverpool transfer news has got me very, very drunk. Not literally, but of course, it's exciting, isn't it? When Liverpool actually do business and actually win a game of footy as well. That's the exciting part. As well anyway, but as Ali says, announced Gakpo as well.
It's all right, boys, we got him in the back. Yeah, we got him in the green room. Yeah, just add him now. Come on.
It won't let me, sadly.
Yeah.
Coming soon anyway, but as well today, fingers crossed. And Mark, Pano says, Mark, the quickest fingers on the keeper always gets big up as well, Mark as well. And yeah, as well, yeah, as Mickey was saying earlier on, we are building. We are building a great team. It will all come together sooner or later as well. Yeah, exactly. And I think that is a good way to end the show as well. Anyway, but guys, thank you very much for tuning in to, of course, the official news that Cody Gakpo is on his way to Liverpool Football Club. So we'll hope that it will get announced either today or tomorrow. I'm guessing if
it's done, it happen. It always happens after we do a show. It literally get announced as soon as we finish here tonight.
Well, it's 9 minutes away from 6. Will it get announced at 6? Who bloody knows? Anyway, but as soon as it does, we will be live straight away. My guess is it's either going to be 9 o'clock tonight or 9 o'clock in the morning.
Everyone, just keep on tweeting at Liverpool announced Gakpo. Keep on tweeting them on Twitter.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, Dom Solanke! Remember those days when we were finding him? He's just nearly scored for Bournemouth. There, chats, bloody hell.
Great show, folks.
Walk alone. Connor and chat lads as well, everyone. We're using that Dom Solanke money, aren't we, to buy Gakpo?
Dom Solanke. Jesus Christ.
And the Ian Brewster transfers as well.
What a player.
Oh, God, baller. Got a Champions League medal, though, ain't he, boys?
Yeah. Dom Solanke was supposed to be the next big thing, wasn't he?
Supposedly, to be fair, they did win a World Cup together. So we'll
Just
leave
say
it.
To be
we've
fair,
come
we did get 20 mil for him, though, didn't we? So we'll take that.
Yeah.
That
We've
is
come a
true.
very long way, haven't we, boys, from the dark days of getting the Bellinis and the Jovanoviches, and
It could be worse. We did sign a model
Joe
called
Cole.
Ben Davies for was it 2 million or whatever it was, but we did get a profit on him. So nice for a kit model anyway. To be fair. But yeah, like we said, guys, hopefully you have a fantastic rest of your day anyway. Please go and subscribe over to the 8092 Reds TV and also Anfield Road TV as well. Please go and subscribe to both of them. And like I said, if there is any more breaking news or anything else tonight, then we will be live straight away, hopefully, anyway. But yeah, guys, that is going to be it from us. I've been Connor from the Cook Council. We will see you all later or tomorrow. Until then, ciao, Reds.